Alright, we're going to start here. We're here with Gideon of the Trials. It's a 3-mana, 3 loyalty Planeswalker. You can plus it to prevent all damage a permanent would deal. So it's any damage it would deal to anything, not just your face, creatures and Planeswalkers and all that jazz. And the damage it would deal, say, like VV, throwing damage at your face, because it's not combat damage. So that is interesting. This doesn't save you against VV at all, but it can't poke you anymore. It has a 0 to become the 4/4 indestructible, and no damage can be dealt to it. The reason it kind of has both of those lines of text is so it keeps its loyalty. Otherwise, if it was just indestructible, it would lose the loyalty when it took damage anyways. So it has, like, it doubles down, essentially. And then it gets an emblem where you just can't lose the game as long as you have a Gideon. It doesn't have to be this Gideon, but most Gideons, kind of this one as well, to a lesser extent, really want you to play creatures and swing at your opponent and stuff, and just do damage, where I'm not trying to do that. So most of the other Gideons kind of don't fit the bill. There is the 4-mana one that like poops out 2/2s, but I think there's just better things to do. And if this is gone, like, you have this Gideon repeatedly anyways. If you have 2 Gideons in play, that's not really going to save you. If your opponent was to answer the first one, it's kind of easy to then answer the next one anyways. So I don't really like more Gideons as a whole, even if they were similar to this one. I'm just not super big on it. A bunch of removal, a bunch of board wipes. There is Sarah with the worship emblem, where you have any creature, you just can't lose more than... You can't get reduced to 1. To 0, I mean. So you're stuck at 1 life. Kind of interesting. You need a creature to do that, so a little weird. I have Oketra, right? Is that what we settled on? Yeah, Oketra is an indestructible creature. Mondrak is also indestructible, but I can't consistently make Mondrak indestructible. If I could, maybe you can run both. There's Book in here. The only reason I feel like Book might actually make it is because with Oswald sacking Mana Rocks, I can find it. And then with, like, Mutavault, you can put the token, or, the counter on the Mutavault, and if your opponent doesn't interact with Mutavault for the entire game, you just can't lose. This is extremely unreliable. Your opponents do run Field of Ruin and stuff that blow up Mutavault. I just see those lands. I don't really like Field of Ruin, and Demolition Field, I think, is the other one. I'm not a fan of those in this format, but that doesn't stop people from playing them, especially with Tifa all over the place that just doesn't care what the land is or how bad the land is. As long as it just doubles your landfall, they don't care. They'll just run it. So there's splash damage. This is just extremely unreliable, but it's funny. I don't expect it to win a single game of all the goofy combos, just because there are genuinely a lot of just random cards, even Beseiju, that just stop your Cavernous Souls or your Faceless Haven, or I think there's another one now. This one, that is an angel that just gets blown up. This one is quite steep. Really, the only one I like is Mutavault, because you can kind of do it reasonably fast, mana-wise. Otherwise, you have to spend an insane amount of mana for something that won't work anyways. But it's in here because it's funny. That is to say, so like Solemnity... Solemnity, can't put counters on stuff, and then Phyrexian Unlife? Yeah, so you can't get poison counters. These two combo until your opponent deals with them. This is not just best of 1 historic. There is, like, every single deck is going to have something that interacts with this, right? I've tried to make it work. I couldn't tell you how many times I've tried to make this work in Historic Brawl, and it never really pans out. Like, even River's Rebuke just makes it not work, and I don't have a solid answer to River's Rebuke except Mana Tithe. So, like, you're not going to ever keep those in play and let them just sit there and dodge 99 cards that your opponent has, or like 60-ish cards your opponent's playing, that it only takes like one of those to interact, because I don't have counter spells. If I had counter spells, I like it, but I I mean, I kind of like it, but I don't have ways to truly stop that from being a thing. You can run like Teferi's Protection, but I it's just not reliable. It's not reliable. So that's that for that. I'm running the swords with like Cloud in that other one. I don't own Stoneforge Mystic, so if I did, I probably would give that one a whirl in here. Just to have another way to find equipment. The reason I'm running the equipment is just because it's worth it to me to keep paying 2 to re-equip every turn on Gideon. Because if you have protection, the idea is to give yourself protection from your opponent's colors with the first sword you find, ideally. And then you just continuously swing with it as a way to kill your opponent. To me, it's worth it to just keep reinvesting mana. Maybe it isn't, but I think it kind of is. This card, to me, is awful, but it does create indestructible creatures for the Sarah worship, which could matter. But this card is really... I mean, I don't think I like it any more or less maybe than Zatalpa. Zatalpa I just like because I enjoy that card, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep this in here until I cast it. I've never cast it. I don't like it here. I don't like it anywhere. But let's see what happens with it if we just give it a whirl. So, alright, there we go. Those are the words I have. Hopefully it was coherent. This finds a land, right? It does. Discard. Turn permanent. Value 2 or less. Okay. I suppose deification it is. Name Gideon, right? Why is it Elspeth and Sarah? The heck? Well, I'm sniffing out some kind of, like... maybe not. If I do... Wait, what does this do? I'm gonna cast this here. Okay, I guess I'm not going to cast that there. Let's see, did anything we do matter this game? Okay. I didn't instantly lose the game. There's no way I just let my opponent untap with all that. So I have to just do this. Okay. I'm sure glad we're playing his sword Brawl. So, I mean, alright. I don't know. And then just play Punishment on Oswald, so my opponent doesn't just spin into God tier nonsense. Which I'm not even sure what could be, but who knows. If I do this and then I cast Gideon, maybe something can happen. Ooh, excuse me. I do not feel like I'm playing the same format as my opponent, though. I've not felt like that since the start of this game. Gonna just loot for the sake of looting. Go away. Does that change anything? Not quite. So play this plus on the cheaper copy. Is there a man land? Okay, I guess I just won't respect. I just won't respect a haste threat or something. I don't think it's reliable to hide behind this emblem, but like you've seen crazier things, I suppose. What happens if my opponent decks out with Garuda? What happens then? I might have actually just had the 0 here, right? Okay. Sarah. Loyalty. Let's do this for 1, 2, 7. If I win this game, I'm gonna like... I'm gonna take up a new profession of, I don't know. Four damage to me is completely irrelevant. I'm not even going to risk making it a 4/4. Alright, they stopped the Sarah emblem. Sure. Alright, now I kind of wish I swung last turn. Finale is not really what I'm looking for. I can recast it, so yeah, I'll just make it a creature. I can recast it. I'll hold the land... Actually, we could just do this now. Yeah, we could just do this right now. Still hold the land. Doesn't save him. Okay. Was that hardcast? It was. Oh my goodness. I meant to click the card emote. I didn't mean to click the snooze emote. Oh my goodness. We were not playing the same format this entire game. Whenever this enters, pay 3, proliferate. Sure. I'm gonna Minotithe that, because otherwise I don't Minotithe much. Yeah, we're gonna go into this next turn. It is sort of a must-answer threat. Well, ideally. I don't think I'm gonna try to leave up mana when I cast it, though. I could genuinely do that. Yeah, maybe we should. It also lets me just crack this for something. Let's just do the save 0. I'm not gonna do anything about that. Okay. So, you decline, lay down the arms of this thing, have a seriously threatening board presence. Alright. Well, I untapped with my commander, so... I mean, excuse me, untapped with this thing. Might as well be my commander at this point. But... I'm not sure there's anything my opponent has access to that stops this at this point. Unless it's a River's Rebuke, but that doesn't inherently win the game. Are they dead next turn? Think so. Wow, Jace. Has to bounce my commander? I called it my commander, no? Whoops. Okay, so... we cast... you... we make you a creature. Decline... oh, wait, I should have said yes to that. Whoops. Should have said yes to that. That's not bad. Alright, this is not lethal. But... if I made Mutavault a creature, was it lethal? No. If I crewed or equip, was it lethal? No. Alright. There was no, like, hard lethal there. Okay. We go to 4 poison? Haven't seen this commander played in, ever, actually. What did they just cast? I didn't even look. I don't know why I thought it was an 8-mana investment. I thought it was an 8-mana investment for a lot of turns, too. This is really, really egregious. No guarantee it wins the game, but obviously a thing that I did not give myself the out to have, which is really bad. Tragic. That was where it would be at its best, too. I'm gonna not care about that. Okay, and now my commander's dead. Yay! Love it. Farewell, naming enchantments and creatures. Okay, so... What is that? Bone Horde? Okay. Do I just kill that? I think I do, right? It's always value. If I don't kill it, it just incurs infinite value, so I guess I have to kill it. I'm not really sure what we're doing in the long run here in this game. I don't know what we're trying to find. It's not looking great here. Red-green equipment, cast and equip. It is possible. Oh wait, what about... Hold on. We have Overwhelming Splendor. It's cast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is castable. Okay. I'm definitely gonna make the attempt on that one. Let's plus here. None of this matters. So, do that. Play this. Okay, nothing that Huatli flips into matters when you have Splendor. So I'm not going to make a reaction. And cast Farewell. That is to say that I don't think... Like, I would still, rather than maybe not flip it, but as long as Splendor is around, it might not be a problem. But we'll see. I don't even know if I would have done that. I think maybe Gideon's not super crucial to me, but it kind of does damage. I don't know. Maybe it's all the best that card's gonna do. Do I need Smothering Tithe? I don't think I do. My opponent can just pay for it infinitely anyway, so... Okay, well... I saw this coming. The creature has to have a cast trigger. It can't enter and then do anything. They tutor up a dinosaur, which... There's a fair amount of dinosaurs that are a problem. There are some dinosaurs that might have some cast triggers we'd rather not see. But they do have to have said cards, otherwise that's not going to matter. Let's just do this. I don't believe protecting Gideon... Alright, that's not doing anything. Protecting Gideon is doing anything? Yeah, so what dinosaur can you have here that's a problem? Galta doesn't do it. Zakama doesn't do it. Kogla does it. Alright. Look at that. I'm fairly certain that works. Doesn't it work? Right? Tell me it works, please. Right? That should work. Oh, activating is an ability. Channeling is an ability. Oh my goodness. I thought we were screwed. Little did I know. We were not screwed. Okay, so let's just start swinging for 4 repeatedly. I'm gonna exile the board and start swinging for 4. No, that's really stupid. That's dumb. We're just gonna do this and do this. Get rid of that. We're just gonna sit tight until we find something that matters. Do I even care about Gideon? No, not really. No, I don't even care about Gideon. I think I can recast it again. Okay, well, we have that. Oh, this stays as a land forever. I did not know that. Alright, so it would not have done anything against the Annabelle player. I feel less bad. I feel way less bad. I did not realize that. I'm taking this card out. That's awful. I don't need a land. I did not know that. Yeah, I'm taking that card out. This is, like, actually atrocious. Did not realize that. I'm not going to put the counter on it. I can just keep this around for Mutavolt if that ends up mattering. Okay. Doesn't enter with anything. I'd rather just make 1/1s than do anything else, so... This is the longest someone's ever played against Overwhelming Splendor. I don't know what their outs are, but they're sitting around waiting for them. Yeah, I'll force the trade. I mean, if they ever blow it up, I'd be just happy it wiped out as many creatures as it did, right? No. It's kind of ideal to me. Could have ordered that better, not gonna lie. That's a good card. Alright, get rid of that now. Sure. Yep. They do swing. That's another good one. Do I have anything to reanimate that matters? No, not really. Not really. Let's just make a 4/4. Let's just make a 4/4. Alright. I guess... I don't know what... If you're gonna keep playing against Overwhelming Splendor, it would make sense to play all the way to the end, because there's just something in my... Like, my opponent must be playing 2 something, right? You're never gonna win with just playing 1/1s, so there must be an out that they were playing 2, so I'm not sure why now they concede instead of, like, in 2 or 3 turns when they're officially dead. Like, they have 1 or 2 more looks. What the heck is that? Shadowheart? Huh? What is this? It's the mono black variant. Okay. What? That's cool. I like it. Chat, we're playing against cool things. Oh wait, it's black-red. Okay. It doesn't say black-red up here. Shouldn't it say black-red up there? Okay. Slightly less cool, but still pretty cool. Doesn't Gideon just really irritate this card? I feel like it does. I have time to play Smothering Tithe. I will play it, because they can't pay for it. Whoa! What? Alright. I was wrong. I lied to you. I was going to say a land there would be really good. You can get the protection from black weapon here. Probably just should. Assuming I have it in here, I do. Or red. Actually, this is a better... Yeah, we're going to get that. That's just better. And then I'll shut down this for like 25 years? Well, they paid last time, so I assume they're going to do it again. Okay. But I kind of already did what I needed it to. Wow. I can target lands with Gideon. Let's name Mirror. It literally doesn't matter. Play this. Opponent's also playing really fast. This Smothering Tithe has just... My opponent has spent more mana on it than I have already. Kind of crazy. I have a sword that is a serious problem right now. You must have like a shock or something right now, or it's kind of lights out. Yeah, I'll swing with both. Why not? How do I kill this? Panther? We will kill the Phoenix. We will kill the Phoenix. Alright, so they have to have a black removal spell. Man, that Smothering Tithe was a really good idea. Alright, constitutes as a right answer. So, Gideon plus here, ossification, nothing. I'm not going to swing. Yeah, alright, I'm just doing nothing. I'm going to hold on to this. My opponent has only let me make one treasure token. That is crazy. Okay, well, I will just crack that. Okay, was that a... What was that? Ghostfire Slice? Jeez. Alright, let's play... I can't get that out of the graveyard with this. I can get rid of my opponent's commander now. I probably should. No attack here. Alright, they're down to one card, but the man land exists, and it is a bit of a nuisance. Sin Prodder. Beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library. Interesting. I'm going to block with a 2/2 instead of -2 here. Okay, it looks like it sort of equaled out. What if I just blocked with these? Yeah, these are less useful. I'm gonna block with the 1/1s. They're just less useful. Okay. Still nothing to reanimate. Play this for 5. Kind of ugly. Let's see what happens when I swing. Wow, really? Opponent is low enough to where I can just make these. Exile that. Yeah, this makes sense to me. My opponent is, like, dying, so... Still paying for the... Yeah, we can reanimate Gideon. I just don't feel like I care too much to go for that. Alright, we win. Yep. That opponent was fast and reactionary. Like, they reacted to the things I did really quickly. Like, they kind of just sniffed out a removal spell and already had their hand over the concede button. They didn't even see it. But yeah, this, it's a bit tough to get this going. And even when it, let's see, it flips into this and then doesn't do too much. It has Summoning Sickness currently, right? Yeah. I think, no, I'm not 100% sure, but I feel as though the Smothering Tithe won me this game. Being able to stop 2 mana from my opponent every turn seemed extremely significant, especially when they had a manland that they did have enough mana to activate, or like this thing, I guess. I don't know. I mean, they had the Soul Land going, but still, like, I don't know how much I'm interested in doing that. So if they didn't pay for Smothering Tithe at all, they would push more damage faster, but we would get to, like, maybe cast the Wandering Emperor a turn earlier? It's hard to quantify that. My opponent very swiftly made their decisions, so I trust their line. I just, I don't know. I would like to see that same game, except they never paid 2, and see what happens. Playing at Scythus all day. I haven't seen Corvold in a while. Corvold, honestly, just kind of got shoved aside by a lot of the things the past 2 months. Let's do this. Corvold, I do feel like, definitely got a bit of a major shove. I was kind of expecting a Thoughtseize there. We're going to just play this. I feel like it's a must-answer threat. So, I'm going to cast it. Yep, feel a surprise of no one. Threat answered. Oh, they had Thoughtseize. Alright. Great. I think my whole hand is reasonable. But I don't know which one you take. Okay, they take that one. Is that what I would have taken? Maybe. Feels a little odd, though. I'm not sure if that's what I would have taken there. Okay. You got it. I don't really care about that. Black and... I think I'm just taking the green one. I think I'm taking the green one. The black one is, like, truly just awful. Let's do this. Let's play this on Gideon. Oh, hey, look at that. Actually, it's in the list. So, as long as I control a creature, we're sort of okay. Which, obviously not the most reliable thing. Okay. immediately answered. Oh, they didn't kill it. Alright, they killed the creature. Sure. They didn't kill the... Huh. Swinging with the sword here is weird, because then Gideon actually just straight up dies after, unless I cast one of these. So let's just make the emblem now, and leave up Solitude. I would also kill Cloud, to be honest with you. I don't think I'm ever blowing... I would blow up the mana rock before I blow up Cloud, or Deification. Clothis? Whoa. Okay. That's nuts. I'm gonna let my opponent draft. Actually, I don't even have to. Yeah, just block the bug. I'm not gonna let him draft. Okay, they let me go to blocks first. A bit of a mistake, I would argue. Let's plus on... nothing? Exile Clothis? Because I sort of, like, have to. Can reanimate Cloud, so... Reanimate, exile? Yeah, we have to get rid of this card. It's just a lingering issue. Let's get the... I mean, both of these are okay. Again, I think the black one is awful, so I'm not going to get it. Plus here. It's an indestructible creature. It's indestructible. So they have to blow up Deification now. It's indestructible. We did the thing to a degree. I think it's the first time that's come up. You know. We got around Shielder's Edict already as well. Oh, silly me. Answer, answer, answer. Answer, 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 answer. Let's play you. We've gone quite a long time with only drawing 4 lands. And boy, do I mean long, long time. I can humiliate Corvold and then plus on it. So that maybe it doesn't do anything and gets stuck in play. I think that's the right idea. I don't know. It's the only idea I have here. Alright, yeah. We did it. I mean... I can kind of see why they concede here. They know about the answers that I have in my hand. So, like, I can just continuously deal with stuff. I have yet to crack this, gate. Yet to seek with it. Alright, Palantir. Get in there. Do it. Both of these are okay. I think I like the Mana Rock, so we do this. Yeah. I like the Mana Rock here. I wonder if they play their commander on turn 3. Oh, alright. Do I do anything about it? Probably... I don't think I do anything about this. I think I just do this and plus. Get Lost is interesting. I don't like the land. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need the mana. Oh, right, it's 2. Never mind. I couldn't keep either. Alright, never mind. Fair enough. Okay, sure. Just recast that. I could have nah, there's no reason to season that. Oh. I would have just put it back to the command zone anyways. It's always weird when Slimefoot plays Bajuka Bog. It's like, what? Why? Let's play it again and plus it again. Solitude would be good, but alas, I cannot draw it. Wow, they let me draw Solitude? Already letting me draw at 18. That's crazy. I'm milling there for sure. Every one of more creatures do things. Short. Short. That's nuts. I still think there's some kind of village rights, which is incredibly annoying, but what am I going to really do about that? Nothing. Oh look, it's village rights. Oh. It isn't a Fatal Push, because if it was Fatal Push, you know, it's only Fatal Push if I had a creature, then it would have been a Fatal Push. But I didn't have a creature, so of course. We're gonna take this time to make the emblem, and we're gonna pass the turn. Oh wait, we can just put this in, yeah, we can cast this, why not? That's a good one. My opponent is letting me draw, so I'm going to just keep drawing cards if they let me. Anything in the graveyard that matters? Nope. Not yet. They didn't find anything in the graveyard to put in the graveyard. That's wild, sure. Wow. This exiles, right? Correct. We're good. Yeah, we'll swing for 4. If Gideon was going to die here, I wouldn't, but... They could have used this to actually hit Gideon on their turn. Not sure if I would have blocked there. Sword of Fire and Ice is interesting. That is interesting. It might be too slow. We'll see. I don't hate Fire and Ice here. I really don't. Could probably be wrong, though. Let's, swing. Opponent has displayed consistent interest in blocking. So... Sure. Now all I have to do is kill the Saproling, and then they can't use their commander. We have another Village Rights effect. We do not. Yep, cast this. Sort of that. Restoration is nice. No, it's not great. No, it isn't great. Okay. I also have Deification rolling. What is this? Casualties of War? Yep, they have Casualties of War. Sort of spaghetti and noodles. Damage. Box. I can actually crew this vehicle. That is kind of a threat. Let's bait the sword. Okay, that just worked. They have to do something inside of combat. No, you gotta wait. Can't do it now. You gotta wait. Wait till I swing. No, you gotta wait till I swing. Okay, there you go. Now you can do it. Assassin's Trophy. Oof. Ew. Alright, well it does the job, but not, maybe not in the long run. We'll see. I have a ton of options here. I'll take the Indestructible Nuisance, just for the sake of doing it. Pay 3? Sure. I can draw off the Bank Buster. I think I need more than that. I think they wanted to play those in an opposite order, right? No, because then the Cutthroat dies. Alright, I see. Yeah, they're playing to their outs. I commend it. But I have lethal shown, because I can crew the Bankbuster. Well, I just utterly and completely demolished that Slimefoot player. Mono white with a bunch of sweepers, it does feel like a bit of a nightmare for this deck. Madrotha is scary, but it is very, very slow. Usually. As slow as mono green ramp can be. I kind of want to play Madrotha again. I kind of want to just play it again. I haven't played it in a while. Oh, look. No way. Well, play versus draw was extremely important here. Might have just straight up lost if I was on the draw. Might have lost on the draw there. Psychic Frog. That's surprisingly not too scary when you have this. If that means anything. I don't know. I have it, so I'm gonna do it. As much as I really want Palantir in play, there's just no time. Psychic Frog just wins, so. You tried Madrotha with Slime Against Humanity? Man. Out here just winging it. I commend my opponent for not playing 3 cards in a row that ramp. They did take a second in between to not do that. I don't believe Oketra is doing anything. I'm just going to play a Palantir. Alright, we're in a position where we basically lose to Casualties of War if they have it. River's Rebukes might be survivable. The Sweeper is nice. I don't know if I want to land. They're not going to let me have the Sweeper, but I would keep it. Madrotha isn't currently winning the game, even if they play 2 lands a turn. Gideon isn't also really doing all that much here. Alright, it's soaking some damage though. I mean, my opponent would always keep this, right? Delighted Halfling Psychic Frog? How do you not keep that? I don't lose to Mana Drain. I'm gonna be honest, this isn't even really that great. Whatever, spamming 1/1s is a thing. Maybe. Okay. I feel like that took them way longer than it would take me. I'm always killing the Palantir. Seems pretty straightforward, but alright. That's maybe something to think about. I think the Palantir is always correct. you can't target the Mind Stone. I could just crack it. So, and again, I'm not sure if Gideon is accomplishing all that much here. I mean, by all means, you can kill this Ornithopter. That's fine. Sure, that's just a naturalize, right? Yep. They probably want to draw with it, don't they? Oh, they want to draw with that? Yeah, okay. Looks like that is correct. So, I can reanimate my Palantir, and I can get rid of Psychic Frog? No, that's kind of weird, isn't it? What if I exiled the Dryad? It doesn't let you play lands off the top. I kind of really just don't want my opponent to draw a card. I'm not going to lie to you. So I'll just do this. I'm always drawing. I'm not blowing up Ornithopter. I'm still always drawing. Wow, really? How do you not draw? That's wild. Stroke of Midnight is interesting. You know, I like that one. I don't really care for that. There's no point in standard Brawl? What do you mean? Alright, they found a land. They can cast Muldrotha to accomplish naturalize spamming stuff, I suppose. They do cast it. I will take care of it with Ossification. I think. Though, to be honest, the value it's getting isn't really that crucial. It's still probably right. I'm not going to block... I'm not going to block. Gideon does not necessarily even have to be alive for this game to continue. I'm just going to get rid of the Muldrotha. Rotation is coming? You thought it was a... Get scammed. That is not what this is. I can swing all out. Alright, we did it. We, like, frustrated the... Well, I didn't say we frustrated, but we just stopped Muldrotha value. And stopped... Okay, we stopped the Delighted Halfling. I would say probably... If this did... If my opponent was on the play... we probably lose? I don't know how extreme that is. I would like... This is another game. I think it's like the third time I said this today. It's like another game where I would like to see if my opponent was on the play instead of me. I might have just lost this. There's a chance Esper Sentinel does something. It hasn't drawn a card yet since we've started playing this deck. Maybe it will here. This would be a good opportunity for it to shine. I suppose it doesn't matter if I don't draw lands anyways, but you know. Mutavault. There's not really much of a reason to play that turn 2. Though there's no reason not to play. Could have just played it, I don't know. I'm not ever swinging with it, really. Wow, look at that. Esper Sentinel drew a card. Let's go. Let's get rid of that. There's a lot of annoying ones here, though. That is a... I could just poke it with that. Alright, so let's play... Gideon? No, we play this. We play this. We play that. Does that stop Perpetual? Does that actually stop Perpetual? No, it doesn't. Get wrecked. I didn't think so. That does not stop Perpetual. Welcome to Hearthstone, opponent. How may I take your order? Mm-hmm. I think I swing with this because I survive lightning bolts, I guess. Sure. This has Ward 1? No, it doesn't. It does not have Ward 1. Oh, Esper Sentinel. Look at you go. Look at you go. Did they top deck a land? Apparently not. Oh, they just discarded 2 lands. I want to dodge Mana Drain. That is a very good card. What if I did this? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Sort of tasting it. Put it on Esper Sentinel. Because I'd rather them, I'd rather them do this here. Oh, look at the tempo. Look at the tempo, chat. Look at us go. Look at all that tempo. They can't interact with this 5/6 unless it's a blue card. It has to be a blue card. That doesn't do anything. Get wrecked? Wow. We just utterly decimated that teamer deck. That's, yeah. Yeah, alright, we're done. So, this had an out in, I think, 1 game. There was an out. Now, I didn't realize at the time, but the man land we had doesn't become a land again. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, this thing. It's an angel. You can put the book counter on it, but it's a 3/3 forever. So this is not viable. I thought it was viable, it's not. Don't play this. If you exclusively play it for like the book angel counter, it becomes a 3/3, it stays a 3/3, it's completely unplayable. So I took that out. There was 1 game where I could have went for it on that card. At the time I didn't realize it was going to be a 3/3, so and stay a 3/3. I should have went for it. Didn't realize I had the mana to do it, and it cost me the game, but it was going to stay as a 3/3 against a red-white aggro deck. There's no way it's staying alive and saving me. It's just not going to happen. So it's not ideal. It's already bad enough that it goes on a land that's moderately vulnerable. The board wipes are just excellent, right? Any Planeswalker-based commander strategy is just going to like that because it doesn't die to the sweepers. I didn't feel like I was falling behind on board when it came to my opponent having a critical mass of creatures and I can't swing into them or something. The pivoting into beating my opponent to death with damage was an option, but it wasn't plan A. All the sweepers were just so good. There's a lot of situations where recognizing that your sweeper must only kill one thing is something to take note of, right? I've said rather recently that board wipes are kind of at their weakest because everyone has extremely threatening creatures after only having 2 in play. It's not like you're suddenly getting to a losing position because they played their 3rd or 4th creature and you haven't dealt with the first 2. All creatures are like creatures just getting so scary as individual cards that it doesn't. Critical mass isn't something you necessarily need to concern yourself with. So it's just something to pay attention to, that it's okay to 1-for-1 yourself with a sweeper. You know, sometimes it's totally fine to just greet it because the creature isn't winning on its own. But especially with Gideon's plus, you can plus on their first creature, and then it doesn't deal any damage until they play the next one, so you're even a little bit more incentivized to wait for their next creature, basically. But you're not really banking on 5 or 6 or 7 creatures in play before you cast it, or really even 4. But that does happen still. It's not like that wasn't happening. Casting this means you don't really even have to worry about casting sweepers because you're just doing this, and until your opponent stops it, you know, you're probably going to win, and you're going to win really quickly after you've cast this card. Did I talk about the sword? The black sword was awful. Even against a mono black deck, I still feel like I would not really like to go grab it. Maybe I would. I didn't really see a lot of mono black. But if I did, I don't know if I would take the protection from Black Sword. Like it's not good. It's really just not good. It has text on it. It does. It just doesn't really have great text on it. Right? If I was ever against a Jund deck, which we were against a few of them, I'm not really grabbing this. I just went for the red-green one. And even the blue-red one against Jund, Fire and Ice, is like... The sword itself is just scarier than this. So like, protection for black does have merit, though, sometimes. Your commander's indestructible. It can get hit by black exile, I suppose. If you have other creatures, it could be valuable to like give them protection from black so they can maybe block. That seems awkward when a sword would like to not block and actually attack. But these two were excellent. The 2-mana investment every time I want to swing with Gideon with one of these was just more than worth it. Absolutely more than worth it every time. So that's up to the individual, I suppose. The equipment package didn't feel necessary, but it was really good every time I had it, you know? So maybe you want to put Stoneforge in here. I might actually upload the list with Stoneforge. Again, I don't own the card. But yeah, the Book of Exalted Deeds, not reliable. Definitely not reliable. I said I was going to keep Knights of the Round in here until it did something. And it never did anything. And I still took it out. Like I was going to keep it until I cast it. That just never happened. This card is abysmal. The format doesn't care about really anything this is doing. If 3 2/2s are like swarming your opponent in a way they're not dealing with, then congratulations, I guess. I don't know what that game looks like. I would almost prefer this be Avacyn or Zatalpa, but it's comparable enough to Zatalpa that maybe this is just something to think about. It's not like it's doing nothing, right? You get a ton of 2 2s, and then at the end of it all, they're all really, really annoying to deal with, right? But there are cards like Cyclonic Rift in River's Rebuke, right, and whatnot that just don't care. The 2/2s also don't have Indestructible until the end. Yeah, they don't have it till the end. So if you need to cast your own sweeper before you got to the not the I don't even know what I was about to say, the last chapter counter, I slurred my words, then it feels kind of bad. It does create essentially a lethal mass of 2/2s, but there's just better cards that are, they're more useful in more games if you just have that slot be like a cheaper spell, right? I don't even know what I took out for it. Oh, I think it was Cosmos Elixir. Yeah. I think I put that in instead. The Key to the Archive is interesting, and so was, oddly enough, Approach the Second Sun. Thinking about the games I won, I think Approach would have helped me win those games, although, I mean, I already won them anyways, I'm not saying much. But, like, the games I lost, I don't know. If I ever had Approach, I'm not sure if that would have changed anything. It would also have to replace a card in my hand, and I don't know what card we're theoretically replacing with the Approach there. So I'd be down a different card to have Approach in that game. So I don't know if Approach is right. I do like the ability to suddenly pivot into Beatdown. It's not often, but it can happen. I mean, 4 damage. I felt like there were quite a few players that tried to deal with this when they just didn't have to, especially when I don't have to do anything else and I can cast it again. It's like, well, maybe you just don't kill it because my whole turn next turn was passing, and now I can just cast this because you sort of like gave me my own turn. It's something to think about. The bottom part didn't really come up too much, really at all. It's hard to keep Gideon alive and also zero and have that line of text. But if your opponents are more scared than they should be, sort of, then there is some advantage to be gained when your opponent is overly threatened by that. There were certain situations where I guess a bunch of situations where it was killed and it probably didn't have to be, and my opponent like tempoed themselves to invest mana and resources into killing it instead of doing something else, and they could have went to kill this even with the emblem at a later turn, and I can't really do anything. Like, you can still put me in the dead zone, right? Like, I'm dead, and then you kill this, and I die immediately. Whereas you kill this up front, not super amazing, but it's something to pay attention to. The Sarah emblem never came up. I got close to it coming up. I did get kind of close, but didn't really cross the finish line with that one. I will say deification was hilariously scary. Anything that was annoying in play that my opponent couldn't deal with, deification felt like something maybe every opponent really wanted to deal with, and that's funny. I actually liked deification. This might be one of the only commanders in the game that might actually like deification. There's some other white ones that might like this, but Gideon was definitely like really funny with it. I don't really like Fragment Reality. I only cast it, I think, once. Maybe I cast it twice. It's good against 1 mana cards. If every deck has Mox in it, then that's kind of sad. Turning your opponent's card into a Mox is like not the most ideal situation. Lana Royals into Mox, and if you ever deal with a 2-mana card, every single deck has a 1-drop, right? So I don't know if I like this card. It's kind of weird. I don't often play with it, and I didn't really like it every time I cast it here. I think I actually got a Tamiyo in play, right? Yeah, I cast this on a Mana Rock, and my opponent got Tamiyo. I was like, great. Plussing on Tamiyo doesn't do anything. That was just actually abysmal. But I still think I had to 2-for-1 myself, essentially, because I then had to deal with the 1-drop they got. So yeah, I really just don't like Fragment Reality. Not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie to you, the mana rocks ended up working out quite nicely. I'm kind of glad I started playing with them because I wasn't initially going to do that, but with Oswald sacking into the book, that's why I ended up putting them in, and I actually did like them. But yeah, it's a satisfying strategy. I do enjoy this. I can recommend it. It does play slightly different from Lamb and also Redain. There's one Redain truther that plays a lot of historic Brawl. I haven't seen that player in a while. It just strictly plays Redain. That deck is like a fine-tuned wheel, fine-tuned machine. That Redain player's deck is can win out of nowhere. So you can take advice from whoever that person is, and if you ever bump into him, again, I haven't seen him in quite a while. But the mono white control aspect of things is pretty viable if you're not stuck playing against the best things in the format. It feels as though every time I start playing, the first few games are just peak sweaty lists. I don't know if that's because my MMR matters, and I was like, oh, the first 5 games, welcome to Ragavan City. I was like, what? But later on, the bell curve or whatever, it smooths out, and I started playing against things that I could have a back and forth with, which was nice. So I can recommend this. It is fun. But if there's like a bunch of stuff to craft in this that you're interested in playing that you don't have, I would probably just not recommend that, because the next set comes out tomorrow and it has some pretty interesting mythics in it and some pretty interesting rares. So, pool your resources if you're one of the free-to-play enjoyers such as myself. But that's all I got for you. I will see you guys next time with new cards. We're going to space. The space hat set. Alright, GG's. Get out of here.